What though, a couple of months ago, or however long ago it was, motivated you to, you know, get out of the house when you could have? I'm sure you could have just like hung out with the kids and watched TV for a while.
It's the kids that motivate you to get out of the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, totally.
Why's that?
I can't speak for Gems, but you know, kids are just a pain in the ass.
So like, I've got to record a record, I've got to get out of here.
It's just rowdy little things. Immature. You know, I haven't got a clue what they're going on about. Wake up too early. Eat too much. I'm going to work.
So when you get out of your hotel bed, you don't normally stand on sharp bits of plastic.
Yeah.
With your bare feet, like
Lego and things like that.
Oh, yeah,
And you don't get the maid waking you up in the morning like this. I'm hungry. Wait till I learn you how to use that toaster. My life will be a lot easier.
The latest Oasis album is called Don't Believe the Truth. 11 tracks on the record. This time, Noel only wrote 5.
So we realised down in Cornwall that the songs weren't working. And then when we got back up to our own studio, we had a different set of songs and it still wasn't working, so we decided that it must be the way we're recording it's not working. So then when we ended up going to America, we had another set of songs and we had a producer, and it just clicked, and in the end it only took about 12 weeks from the start.
So what was it like hanging out in America, hanging out to the Roosevelt hotels?
Well, we were in a couple of hotels, but it was definitely the best time I've had in LA. I didn't used to get it at first. And it was all about when you do a gig, it's all the loons come out. But when you're working there for like two months, it was great. We were driving around, all that, you know, but still grafting, you know, still working.
So why did you choose to go and record over there rather than at your home?
Well, Dave Sardy came to England. Do you want the truth?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, Dave Sardy came to England, and because Americans, no offence, I'm always slagging Americans off.
I was slagging Americans off to everyone 20 minutes and I went,
if
this is Suzanne from the record company. That's what we're pointing at.
but now,
if an American is not within 100-metre radius of a Starbucks, it freaks them out. And we recorded Turn Up the Sun on a Bell Ring in London, and the two engineers went out and walked the block where the studio was, no Starbucks, and they started making excuses about jet lag and all that shit. And so they said, oh, if we're going to do this properly, we should do it in America where we can get a proper cup of coffee and all that nonsense. So we were like, wait, all right, fair enough.
well, we ended up calling them the cops, didn't we? They were like 70s TV cops, always ordering.
Yeah.
Can I get a...
Always ordering.
Can I get a...
They're these big burly American men, and they don't dig England, man. You know, it's as simple as that. They just don't like it. Because over there, you can order Chinese food from China, you know, and then eventually it will arrive at the studio piping up. Whereas like where we were recording in London, there was one Indian restaurant across the road, and that was it. So we had curry for a week, didn't we? And they couldn't handle it, man.
I don't know what they're on about, because I've been in America for a couple of weeks now, and you can't get a good cup of coffee to save your life there.
Rubbish.
Shit.
That's why they give it away.
Yeah. Everywhere.
All the time. Fresh your cups, sir.
Drink, drugs, fighting, walkouts and sibling rivalry have played a recognised role in the life of Britpop band Oasis. I've caught up with Noel and Gem in Marley Park, Dublin, to chat about their album and the writing process that comes along with it.
When it came time to writing the record, Gem, you came to the table with a bunch of songs to a situation that's normally been all Noel. How is it to bring songs into that kind of vibe?
Well, we all demo in sort of bunches of songs. So I think we did about 4 or 5 of mine in a week, and then you just sort of forget about them for a bit, and then suddenly you know what's going to all fit together.
It becomes pretty obvious immediately what's gonna make it on the record.
So how did Gem go? Obviously, it made it to the record. You stoked with it?
Well, great. There's no, you know, we're not the kind of people that go, you know, where's your songs, you know, and it's got to be like this. It's kind of, all these things happen by accident.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, all the Gems in particular, I played drums on the writing of them all, and like me and him kind of get involved in writing the parts, and they all kind of happen by accident. You know, there's not like, oh, today we're going to go and we're going to do one of Gem's tunes. It's like we go up for a few days, and then I'll have a couple of songs, and then he'll play some, and I'll say, what's that? Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not kind of 7:05, must record one of Gem's tunes. It's kind of, it just happens organically, and that's a shit word to use, but it's the only one I can think of.
That's fine with me. You were working a lot with Liam as well, right?
Yeah.
What was that like?
I mean, what's it like? It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's another world,
very
man.
interesting, I would thought.
You know, trying to get out of his head what he actually thinks he thinks. You know, but it's great, man. The studio's fantastic. Anyway, it's like the back cave. We just run around, just making noises, don't we?
We've had it for five and a bit years now, so it's constantly set up to record because we know where everything sounds good in the room, and we can go and do 4 or 5 songs in a day. I mean, it's really that easy, you know. And that's even writing the parts for it. I mean, it happens really, really quickly. I mean, we went up one day and done the demo for The Importance of Being Idle and part of the queue, and we were on before the sun went. We were back in London for tea, you know. And then we kind of listen back and you go, "Oh man, we can better than we can record. It's brilliant."
So you find the stuff that you've worked on like that is sounding different to the stuff that you've taken a long time to? Because I know there's a couple of songs in this that you've had for a while, right?
Well, Let There Be Love I've had in various shapes and forms for about 7 years. The most difficult one, believe it or not, was Turn Up the Sun. We would never get that in the bag till right at the death, and what swung it round was me taking the bass off Andy, and Andy and Gem playing guitar instead of me and Gem, and I played the bass, and it all kind of fit. Same with Keep the Dream Alive. There was something not quite hanging right until Andy picked up the guitar and I played the bass. So that's kind of a formula that seems to be working, is me playing the bass on Andy's songs and Andy playing guitar, because nobody plays guitar like Andy Bell. Fantastic. I kind of feel a bit sorry for him that he plays bass, because he should be utilised more live as a guitarist. But I'm not playing the bass live, so it's just tough shit for him.
So as a band now, you've come back with this record that you've admitted to yourself that is stronger than previous records of yours. What's your goal as a band now after this tour and the next record? What's the ultimate Oasis goal?
The ultimate goal.
Sell out Sydney.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, sell out the cricket ground in Sydney. I wouldn't mind an Oscar.
Some sort of way for your acting work or a soundtrack or for his birthday?
If they can invent one for me, that would be great. Other than that, we've done everything. You know, we've played. After the end of this tour, we'll have played all the most prestigious venues in the world, apart from the Sydney Cricket Ground, let's call it. But you know, we'll have done Madison Square Gardens, Wembley Stadium, Red Rocks, Hollywood Bowl, the Budokan, you know, Hampden Park, City's football ground twice. It's not really that I mean, you could, Nebworth. You know, you could say, well, it'd be nice to have a #1 album in America, but that's not so. I mean, to do that, you've got to suck an extraordinary amount of dick, and I'm not into that. I'll lick it. I'll lick it a little bit, right? I'll lick somebody, but I'm not suck anybody's.
Right. How early in the game did you learn that was
Sorry, Brian, this is really vulgar in it.
Oh, you asked me if I wanted the truth, and Australia wants the truth. You know, we're a nation of people who can handle it.
You see, all the people that top the charts in America are dick suckers, and all the people at the bottom, like us, are just dick lickers.
Right. Which can get you a little way.
Well, you know. Have a look, you know.
Look, so what's the biggest challenge you face as a band, Dan? Obviously, you know, is it to keep fresh every night? Is to walk out there and not think of the room service menu when you're playing? Do you know what I mean? What's the biggest challenge you face?
I don't know if again for me, it's actually putting a show together. Is what songs to play. And we've been on this tour now for about 2 and a bit months, and we only nailed the set list about 3 weeks ago. We were chopping and changing, and it's the first time it's ever happened. It's not really been in the pocket for all of rehearsals. We were about, and we thought we got it right, and then we didn't. There's too many lulls in the set. But we nailed it about just before we got to the City of Manchester Stadium, and it's been great ever since.
Lucky it is before you got there.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest challenge for me. Anything else isn't a challenge, because we've overcome all the kind of all the downsides it's been in a band, going up like that, and then the inevitable levelling off period is kind of the bit where the press rolls off.
Oasis have never been a band for good publicity. The conflict between Liam and Noel is no secret, and they've been very happy to openly criticise artists like Eminem, Posh Spice, the Backstreet Boys, Robbie Williams, Phil Collins, and have a long-standing feud with Blur frontman Damon Albarn.
First couple of albums, it was every 2 seconds there was another photo of someone getting hit or another, shock, Oasis, Gallagher brothers. But they seem to leave you alone so much these days. What's it like living without that kind of, they're going to take a photo of me when I go for a pint of milk?
I've never had it, so I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to speak to Liam, but Liam hangs out in the celebrity hangouts. That's right. It's insane. He loves it, doesn't he?
Is he a ligger?
Is he a ligger? I could think of other things to call him. He's not a ligger. He's not a ligger. No, he's a gate crasher. He's a bit of a crasher, and he hangs around for a lot.